Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be doing a top 5 Wonderland Dreams cards. These are my personal opinions and views on the cards. We're going to break it into 3 categories sort of. Art, effects, and then overall. Just to make it pretty simple and easy to follow. So I'll break down what I like about the art, what makes the effect quite good, and then I'll put them into a list. So hopefully you guys enjoy that and we'll get right into number 5. Kerra, the Wicked Fairy. So it's a legendary blood follower, 6 cost with a decent effect. I mean, you can't really go too wrong with that effect. It basically limits your points to whatever they are on the turn it's played. You then deal 1 damage, gain no more play points from then on, and you can easily draw cards off it. Good card. I like the effect. Personally, I've gave the effect about 7 out of 10. It's good, not overpowered, nice little bit of balance. And I just personally think that effect is really good for the card. The artwork, pretty solid. We'll give it a 7 out of 10 as well. It's not perfect. It's definitely not the flashiest bit of art, but it's got a lot of detail, a nice color palette, and I don't mind the fact that they've included the nice staff and the upgrades to them, just getting those little fine details in on it. So a really solid number 5. So number 4 is Magical Fairy Lilac. It's a beautiful looking card. I mean, the nice blues, the purples, just the effects with the flowers and the nice outfit that isn't too overbearing but is nice and subtle with that white. I really enjoyed this piece of art just for the card. It's really good. They put a lot of effort into a lot of these cards and I really appreciate some of these nice artworks. So for the Magical Fairy, I've gave it an 8 for its artwork, which is a pretty respectable score, I think. Its effect is a little bit worse than its artwork, I'd say. The effect is Clash, destroy the enemy follower and remove this follower's Clash ability. It's basically a Medusa effect, which is really good for Forest. I think it fits nicely into a lot of Forest decks, especially as a 3-drop. So I've gave the effect a 7 out of 10 for an overall score of 7.5. Pretty respectable. So Bladed Hedgehog, probably one of my favorite artworks of pretty much any card. It's absolutely adorable. It has a really nice pre-evolve and then an amazing looking evolve card art, which I particularly like. I'm really partial to the blues in a lot of these cards, which is a nice color to use. And him eating swords, how can you go wrong with that? Now for the effect though, like I gave that a 9 out of 10 for its art, but its effect really where it lets this card down. Wherever an enemy follower is destroyed, gain +1/+0, and with its stat line of 1/3, that's kind of not great. For a 2 cost though, it's okay. I mean, it's definitely a nicely balanced card, but I don't feel that that effect is what is worthy of this beautiful looking card. So I've personally gave the effect 6 out of 10, especially where Sword is now. I mean, in the future, this card could be an easy 8 out of 10, but for me, personally, I think it's about a 6. But overall, that rounds it up to a 7.5 out of 10 for Bladed Hedgehog. So the next card, Disagreeable Demon. I mean, its artwork is a little lacking. I don't really have too much to say about it. It's not bad, but it's certainly not the best either. So I've given it a 7 out of 10 rating for its art. There's just nothing too flashy about it. The background is very vague in its scheme, so there's not super amounts of detail. While the Evolve does have more detail than the Unevolve, it still isn't super detailed or super complicated, which isn't bad, but it's also not good. Its effect, on the other hand, I've rated a 9 out of 10, probably the highest for this list so far. We've got a great fanfare. Give ward if an enemy follower is in play, and gain +2/+0 and deal 2 damage to your leader if no enemy followers are in play. So it's very versatile. It works in control decks, works in aggro decks. It's just got everything it could need. A 2/3 stat line, so it's a great ward when it is, and a 4/3 stat line when it's an aggro. For a 3-drop, that's pretty much perfect. It contests most gold cards in that kind of bracket, and is a really, really solid card. So I gave that the nice solid 9 out of 10, which overall gives us an 8 out of 10 for this card. Alright, so before we go on to number 1, I want to do a few honorable mentions. So firstly is Dark Alice. Great artwork, cool effect, just a nice card all over. Wanted to give it a nice little bit of praise because I do like it. Then Tenko, a little bit of a different style, but another beautiful looking card with the evolves and the unevolve contrasting nicely, along with a pretty solid effect that works really well in those Heal Haven decks. And the final card is a little bit different one, a Poison Apple of Rebirth. Its artwork is fairly different to most cards, which I really enjoy, and the stark contrast between the grayscale and the colors is just beautiful. So it's a card that I really enjoyed. The effect is pretty much, you know, non-existent. It doesn't have much use overall compared to other cards, but its art is awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoy these honorable mentions, and we'll get right into number 1. Princess Snow White, probably what I'd consider one of the nicest looking cards, only slightly not as good as Bladed Hedgehog. I've gave it an 8 out of 10 for its art. It's, like I said, I'm quite partial to those blues. I just love the artwork. I love the little bits of detail they've put in everything, even the background, the dress, the ruffles, the kind of like the wing type effects that they've got going off the sides there are really, really nice. So just a beautiful, beautiful looking card. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, which is why I've only gave it an 8. Like, I would have liked to see the evolves and maybe that look a little different to the unevolve, but other than that, really solid looking artwork. Now onto the effect. The effect I've gave a 9 out of 10. It's probably the one thing Haven really needed. A more aggressive card that has nice combo synergy in the early game with things like Heavenly Hound. Last words, summon a Princess Snow White and evolve it. Then that follower loses all of its abilities. So you're basically 2-for-1ing at least in a minimum in most cases. If not, you are trading up, which is an advantage. You will kill nearly every 3-drop in the game, and even some 4-drops, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it did get nerfed, which sucks. It was a 2-3 on evolve, and now is only a 2-2 on evolve for its stats, but that still doesn't take away from how great a card this is, and even before that, how great it was. So it's probably my favorite card. I've given an overall score of 8.5, making it the top of this list. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I plan on doing more in the future. If you guys enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.